Welcome back. Let's go straight to India now, where South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has landed in New Delhi on his first ever state visit to India. Apart from bilateral talks with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Ramaphosa will also be the chief guest at India's Republic Day military parade, only the second South African president after Nelson Mandela to get that honour. Okay, for more on the story, let's touch base with our correspondent in New Delhi, Neha Punya. Hey Neha, thank you very much indeed for your time. We saw President Ramaphosa arriving earlier. How was he received?
That's right. It was a red carpet welcome for President Ramaphosa when he landed in New Delhi earlier today. You had the Urban Development Minister welcoming him at the airport, and just as he walked out, there was a contingent of Indian folk dancers who greeted President Ramaphosa. There was very lively Indian music playing, and it's something that the President referred to when he delivered the joint press statement with Prime Minister Modi a short while back. He said, we were freezing in Davos, where we attended the World Economic Forum, and now it's nice to be in Delhi's mild winter weather, and they're not just feeling the warmth weather-wise, but also the warmth of the Indian welcome. And he also said he's looking forward to having some hot Indian food today. So that's as far as the traditional Indian welcome that was accorded to President Ramaphosa is concerned.
When you say mild, Neha, what's the current temperature there?
It would be about, I would say, 11 degrees Celsius, which is quite cold for those of us who are living in Delhi, but of course doesn't compare to Davos's minus 16 degrees, I'm told.
Yeah. On to more pressing issues, South Africa and India enjoy a strategic partnership and bilateral relations, you would agree. According to a statement from the presidency, I saw that in 2017, bilateral trade reached about 107 billion rand, and trade for the period of January to November total about 101 billion rand. So I guess, Neha, this illustrates the importance of this partnership.
That's right, Blaine. As far as India is concerned, India is South Africa's second largest trade partner in Asia. It's something that President Ramaphosa has also referred to when he was speaking to members of the press here a short while back. But the biggest highlight of this visit so far has been that both leaders on the South African and Indian side have admitted that while this is a very, very close bilateral relationship, one that is steeped in rich cultural heritage and historical ties, a lot more needs to be done to bring this relationship up to speed to current times. So you had President Ramaphosa saying that we want to see trade double, we want to see more investment from both sides, we want to see more cooperation in the fields of financial services, agricultural producing, as well as processing and various other fields. And this is something that both nations have agreed to work closely on over the course of the next 3 years.
Yeah, I guess cooperation is key, isn't it? And close cooperation already exists within bodies such as the G20 and BRICS, among others. Tell us about the common foreign policy objectives that both countries share.
One big concern for both countries that was expressed and we're being told discussed during the bilateral conversation that took place earlier today was security in the Indian Ocean. Prime Minister Modi is believed to have said that South Africa and India are two countries that share a very common vision. They're both peace-loving nations, and they've agreed to work together to ensure that there's cooperation in maritime security. Many analysts are calling this a reference to China's growing presence in many water bodies around the world, including the Indian Ocean. So that's one area of cooperation that they have agreed to see eye to eye on. The other aspect, of course, is something that everyone is talking about day in, day out. The rising tide of protectionism we're seeing the world over, the kind of trade wars we're seeing play out between the United States and China and many other nations, sanctions being levied. And that's something that President Ramaphosa referred to as well. He said that we're countries that want to see our people prosper. We want to see our people benefit from globalization. We want these changes that are happening all over the world to reach to the most common man in both countries. So that's another area that both nations have said they see eye to eye on, and something that they will work on together in many of these international fora that you just referred to.
I understand that talks have already taken place. Take us through what came out this morning.
The biggest takeaway was that both nations have said, and both leaders have gone on record to say that this bilateral relationship, which is a strategic relationship, has a lot of potential, something that hasn't been utilized completely, partly because of political uncertainties in South Africa, partly because of a lot of changes taking place here in India as well, when the regime changed in 2014 with Prime Minister Modi coming to power. So both leaders agreeing to do more, to set a time-bound approach to cooperation as well. So they signed a 3-year strategic development program. They've said ministers on both sides are going to be working with a deadline in mind, that they should reach a certain level of output at the end of the 3 years starting today. So that's really the big takeaway. They've agreed to hold a conversation about defense cooperation as well. Prime Minister Modi has been spending millions to modernize India's defense capabilities, and they're hoping to count on South African defense firms like Denel to come to India, manufacture here locally, and help Indian soldiers be equipped better.
Yeah, there's about, I think, 130 Indian companies that have invested in South Africa, including the likes of Tata and Mahindra. So very important in terms of this partnership. Take us through today's program. What can we expect?
Speaking of companies, there's also a big business delegation that's accompanied President Ramaphosa. About 50 business leaders are with him, and he's going to be addressing a business forum later in the evening here in New Delhi local time. And he's also said he's looking forward to see the kind of cooperation that's possible between South African businesses and Indian businesses. Like you said already, there are a whole bunch of Indian companies operational in South Africa, but India said it wants to see the reciprocal numbers rise when it comes to doing business in India. There's also going to be the first ever inaugural Gandhi Mandela Memorial Lecture, where President Ramaphosa is going to speak. He's said this as well many times in today's sort of interactions with the media, that this visit is historic, not just only because he's going to revitalize ties with India, but also because this is him and Prime Minister Modi paying a rich tribute to Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, who were divided by geography but united in their anti-colonial struggles. Yeah,
India and South Africa steeped in history in terms of the relationship. We look forward to that lecture a little later on. Tell us about the 70th Republic Day celebrations happening tomorrow. I understand my president is the chief guest at this event. What can we expect from this pomp and ceremony, I guess?
Absolutely. It's really the one big event that the Indian government hosts at the start of every year. It is a 70th Republic Day celebration in India, and it's going to start by President Ramaphosa being accompanied by the Indian president. They're going to drive onto Rajpath. That's where the parade takes place. They're going to take their places on the stage, and then there's going to be a complete display of India's military might. There's going to be tanks, there's going to be airplanes, a lot of fighter jets doing various sort of displays in the sky. There are going to be a lot of armed soldiers walking and giving President Ramaphosa and the Indian president their salute. And this is something that many analysts are calling a very high point when it comes to this two-day visit, because we have a lot of foreign leaders who come to India every year, but there's only one leader per year who is given the honor of presiding over the Republic Day parade, and that honor has been given to President Ramaphosa. And Prime Minister Modi said that he's honored that the South African president accepted his invite, and it's truly a testament to the kind of relationship the two countries share.
Neha, appreciate the update. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Neha Punya is our correspondent in India.